What is your experience with ABRSM?
Time of portrait and triplet.
Playing a song with 6 flats as the key signature. That was quite an experience. Hello and welcome to We Need to Talk. We haven't been doing this show in forever, but I'm happy to report it's back! Today, we are talking about our experiences with ABRSM exams.
I believe most of you have experienced it at least once if you're enthusiastic about music. If you haven't or about to face one, that's okay, because we're gonna talk about it today.
Now, if you're an avid viewer, you should know that Ian plays the violin and I play the piano. Ian just completed grade 8 and I've completed grade 6 last year, so we've experienced ABRSM at least twice. For me it's 3 times.
ABRSMs are roughly leveled in 13 grades, from pre-grade to fellowship. And don't forget, it's not just an examination board. It's also a registered charity based in the United Kingdom.
Thanks for your information. What is your experience with ABRSM? Now, quick reminder, I mean both music theory and instrument exams. So I took my grade 6 exam in July of 2021, and at the time, I was using the recorded exam system, which means 4 pieces and no oral and no sight reading. In my 4th grade exam, there were 3 pieces with sight reading and oral practice. I also took the grade 5 theory exam in October of 2020, and quite honestly, the grade 6 recorded exam was one of the most forgiving, but also one of the hardest. Since it was recorded, obviously I can retake if I stumble, but honestly, I can't remember how long it took, but it basically took forever. So at the time, when I was playing my first song A, which is generally quicker and more vibrant, baroque and classical sonatas or concertos. Specifically, I play an allegro from Mozart's sonata. My hands were sweating really hard, and since that song is really quick, it's over 100 beats, that sweat caused my hand to slip while playing flats, and many of my perfect takes got foiled because of this. This isn't a problem with the ABRSM exam system, but it's just an experience that I've had. So the solution I use is to hide a handkerchief in my pocket and wipe my hand there every time I finish playing a piece. They probably allow it because many people have sweaty hands like me. Oh, and also my 4th piece is another A song, so you can imagine how much my hands were trembling after all of that. Luckily, I chose much slower songs for piece B and C, so at least it won't be torture for my fingers.
Speaking of B and C pieces, let's briefly talk about the difference. B pieces are usually romanticism pieces, but it doesn't mean C pieces are fast. They can be slow or they can be fast too. They're usually composed in the 20th century. Some of them are just more normal sonatas and concertos. Some of them are just jazzy music. But sometimes I see some country music. Is it weird? No. But by the way, I want to ask, what would you describe to be the most painful experience you've had recently? For violin playing, the most painful obstacle was playing the chords in the violin when I'm trying the ABRSM pieces recently. Violin doesn't include any frets like guitar or ukulele, so you need to manage the intonation very well. I almost used a month to improve the intonation in an 8-bar chord excerpt.
Playing a song with 6 flats as the key signature, that was quite an experience. So what is your experience with ABRSM exams?
I took my grade 4 exam in 2017 and I chose the Entrée number 3 by Franz Schubert in the B piece. Unfortunately, it includes a tie note with a quartet and triplet. At that time, I think it's quite difficult for me, so I can't play it correctly even with a metronome at all. so I try to ignore the tie when practicing. But it seems doesn't help me a lot. So the tutor told me to just gonna listen to the recording, and it just helped me. I finally can play and count the beats accurately. Then I started to realize the importance to listening to the recording before practicing your pieces.
There was also one more unforgettable experience with ABRSM, the theory exam. What do you think is the hardest part of the theory exam? For me, it's moving the notes up and down half notes. It takes so long. And also the music terms, though it's MC now at least. I took the exam in 2020, which some might say is one of the easiest because the year I took the exam was when they made amendments to the paper to make it less torturing, I guess. My piano teacher told me in the next paper they turned all of that questions to MC, which for moving notes up and down half notes is an absolute nightmare. My teacher attempted to do the paper and she said it was really difficult. Maybe it's for compensating for the ease of MC, but I'm pretty glad I took the exam early, even though revising for the exam is another story.
Aside of listening to the recording, I also got a tip for you. You should take this for your last performance. You will be passionate about the performance again, and you won't be nervous at all.
Also, treat this as practicing. Normally you don't practice in front of adjudicators, right? Well, just the thought alone is enough to alleviate a lot of stress. And also, if you play a wrong note, just keep going. The adjudicator won't deduct a lot of marks just based on that one note. The same goes for sight reading. If you lose confidence and stumble, then you will lose marks in dynamics and fluency as well. Exams aren't just a test for the brain, it's also a mental war. Whoever is the most stable wins.
After listening to this podcast about ABRSM exams, do you feel more confident? Remember, ABRSM exams are just to test your performance and your music knowledge. So don't be nervous at all. Best of luck with your exams. See you.